Good morning students, welcome to the online classes of Remaining Memorial Senior Secondary School. Today we are going to start the second section for our English reader book, one of the units. Okay, let's move on to the chapter. We'll find out what's there in this chapter. The name of the chapter is Quality, and as the shoes are shown in the picture, this means that the chapter is about the shoes. Okay. I knew him from the days of my youth because he made my father's boots. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. So the author says that he knows about, he's talking about a person who the shoemaker. How we came to know that he's a shoemaker? Because he made the author's father's boots. Okay. So the author knows him from his childhood days. Okay. He lived with his elder brother, that is shoemaker lived with his elder brother, and they had a small by street shop in the fashionable part of London. The shop had a certain quiet distinction. The shop was about merit. Okay. There was no sign upon it. No sign was required. It was the shop actually, and it's normally written Jessler Brothers. Okay. Other than the name of the Jessler Brothers in the window, a few pairs of boots to showcase that it's a shoemaker's shop. Okay. He made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. That is, shoemaker only made the order he got and never failed in his work. Okay. The quality was awesome there. To make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me then and still seems to me mysterious and wonderful. The author is quite relaxed. He is quite happy. He says that he is amused. He feels mysterious and wonderful also, because whatever order he gave to the shoemaker, it was perfect. Okay, perfect for him in every case. I remember one of my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot. Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Jessler? And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard, it is an art. Now, he remembered his shy remarks one day while he was stretching out to youthful foot. He said, Mr. Jessler, isn't it harder for you to make such wonderful boots? And Mr. Jessler was happy. He smiled and said, it's an art. It was not possible to go to him very often. His boots easily lasted terribly long, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boots stitched into them. Basically, Jessler made shoes that would last long, so it was very rare that author would go to him. Okay. One went in, not as into most shops, but restfully as one enters a church and sitting on a single wooden chair waiting. Now, anybody who wanted shoe from Mr. Jessler entered just like he was entering a church and waited for his shoe to be finished. A guttural sound and the tip-tap of his slippers beating the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat, a little bent in leather apron, with sleeves turned black, blinking as if awakened from some dream of boots. Now he tells about how Mr. Jessler looked. He says, after entering, there was a sound, tip-tap of slippers, okay, and how Jessler looked without coat, a little bent. The back was a bit bent, a leather apron used so that you don't get dirty, with sleeves turned back, showing that maybe he was awakened from some dream of boots. And I would say, how do you do, Mr. Jessler? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots? Now the author asked about the leather boots, if Mr. Jessler could. Without a word, he would leave me retiring once he came, or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair, inhaling the incense of his trade. Now, without speaking a word, Mr. Jessler would go into the other room and start making the boots, and here the poet would sit on the chair, inhaling the incense's fumigated smell. Okay. Soon he would come back holding in his hand a piece of good brown leather. Okay, a piece of good brown leather, that is a prepared shoe. With eyes fixed on it, he would remark, "What a beautiful piece." That means, what a beautiful piece it is. When Ch-2 admired it, he would speak again. "When do you want them? When do you want them?" And I would answer, "Oh, as you conveniently can. As soon as you can." Okay. And he would say, "Tomorrow for night," that is tomorrow for night, or "I will ask my brother." I'll ask my brother. Okay. Then I would murmur, "Thank you, good morning, Mr. Jasler." "Good morning," he would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand as I moved to the door. I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going up the stairs to his dream of woods. Now, after saying goodbye to each other, they started moving. The author moving outside and Mr. Jasler upstairs. Okay? Now, I cannot forget that day on which I had occasion to say him, "Mr. Jasser, that last pair of boots creaked, you know." Now, one day he said that the last pair that you gave to me was creaked. He looked at me for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement, then said, "It shouldn't have creaked." Now he said, "No, it shouldn't have creaked." "It did, I'm afraid." "You got them wet before they found themselves." Okay. That means you got them wet. You took them when they were wet, so you had to wait, but you didn't. Okay. At that, he lowered his eyes as if hunting for memory of those boots, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. "Send them back," he said. "I look at them." Okay. I'm using this way, this accent, because so that you can understand that he was an old person, okay, who was speaking like this. So now he lowered his eyes and started memorizing about those boots, and then suddenly said, "Send them back." And the author was not happy to remind him about the boots, so still Mr. Jester said, "I'll look at them." "Some boots," he continued slowly, "are bad from birth. Some boots are bad from birth. If I can do nothing with them, I take them off your bill. If I can do nothing with them, I can take them off your bill." That means if there's an issue, I won't take money from you. Only once, I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. Once, author did a mistake. He committed a mistake that in an emergency he had to buy a pair of shoes, and wearing them, he went to Mr. Jasler's shop. He took his order without showing him any leather, and he could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of the food. At last he said, "Those are not my boots. These are not my boots." Okay. The tone was not one of anger, nor of sorrow, nor even of contempt, but there was in it something quiet that froze the blood. He put his head down and pressed the finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. Now he didn't say anything in anger or sorrow or anything to show that he was not happy. He simply pressed the thumb there on the left foot where the shoe was not comfortable. "It hurts you there." That means it hurts you there. He said, "Those big ones are no self-respect. Those big firms are big industries, have no self-respect." Then, as if something had given away within him, he spoke long and bitterly. Now he started speaking, but in a bitter manner, because he was not happy with the shoe industries. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the conditions and hardships of his trade. It was the first and the last time he heard about the hardships of shoemaking trade. "They get it all," he said. "They get it by advertisement, not by work." They get all the customers by advertisement, but not by the work. "They take it away from us who love our boots." They take away the customers from us who love our boots. It comes to this presently, I have no work. And it is the reason that I have no work. Every year it gets less. Every year the work is getting lesser. You will see that the work now is very less. Looking at his lined face, I saw things I had never noticed before. Bitter things and struggle and what a lot of grey hair they seemed suddenly in his red beard. Now the author looked him carefully, and yes, the shoemaker was getting older and older every day because he was not getting proper work. As best I could, I explained the circumstance of those ill-omened boots, but his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. As best as author could, he explained the circumstances about the boots, and he don't know why he ordered a lot of pairs. Okay, they lasted longer than ever, and he was not able to go to Jessler for nearly 2 years. It was many months before his next visit to his shop. This time it appeared that his elder brother handling a piece of leather. He saw that his elder brother was handling the leather now. Well, Mr. Jessler, I said, how are you? Now he said, Mr. Jessler, how are you? He came close and looked at him at the author. I'm pretty well. I'm pretty well. He said slowly, but my elder brother is dead. But my elder brother is dead. He died. I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and man. Never before had I heard him mention his brother. Shocked, I murmured, oh, I'm really sorry. Now he saw that Mr. Jessler was really older. Okay, he never talked about his brother, but now he said that he is no more. And the author said, I am really very sorry. Yes, he answered, he was a good man, he made a good boot, but he is dead. Yes, he was a good man, he made good boots, but now he is dead. He touched the top of his head, where the hair was suddenly gone as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Now he moved his hand on the hair. The hairs were getting thinner, and that may be the reason for his brother's death also. That is the actual disease. Okay. Do you want any boots? Do you want any boot? And he held up the leather in his hand. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece of leather. I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever, and they were the best of the lot the author ever received from Mr. Jasper. One simply could not wear them out. Soon after that, I went abroad. Now the author went abroad, outside the country. It was over a year before the author was again in London. The first shop he went to was to his old friend, that is Mr. Jessel's. He had left a man of 60. He came back to one of 75. Prince John now, who generally this time did not at first know him. In a year, the age of Mr. Jessler, basically the look of Mr. Jessler completely changed. He was 60 years, he was looking like 60-year-old 1 year ago. And after 1 year, he looked like a 75-year-old person, okay? At first, he didn't even recognize the author. Do you want any boots? He said, I can make them quickly. It's a exact time. Now he says, do you want any boots? I can make them quickly, and it's a black diamond. Okay. I answered, please, I want boots all around, every kind. Now author ordered all the boots as much as possible he could. I had given those boots up when one evening they came. One by one, I tried them on, in shape and fit, in finish and quality of leather. They were the best he had ever made. Now this time also, the quality was the best ever he could ever make. So one evening, when he got the boots, he tried them, and they were of the finest quality. He flew downstairs, wrote a check, and posted it at once with his own hands. A week later, passing the little street, he thought he would go in and tell him how splendidly the new boots fitted. He wanted to meet Mr. Jessley and tell him about how best the boots were, how quite awesome the boots were. But when he came to where his shop, he went to where his shop had been, his name was gone. Mr. Jessler's name was gone. He went in very much disturbed. Author went in very much disturbed. In the shop, there was a young man with an English face. Mr. Jaslery, I said. Now there was somebody else in the shop, and he asked for Mr. Jasler. No, sir. No, but we can attend to do anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over. He said that he says that we have taken the shop over, but and we can do anything. Do you need anything? Yes, yes. I said, but Mr. Jasler. Now the author was searching for Mr. Jasler. Oh, he answered, Dad. Dad, but I only received these boots from him last Wednesday. He said that last Wednesday I received the boots from him. Ah, he said, poor old man starved himself. He was not getting proper food to eat, so he died. Slow starvation, the doctor called it. You see, he went to work in such a way, would keep the shop on, wouldn't have a soul touch his boots except himself. Now he tells about the old man that only he could touch his boots and nobody else, and it was slow starvation as the doctor told. When he got an order, it took him such a time. People won't wait. That is, when he got any order for shoe, he took a lot of time and people won't wait for shoes. He lost everybody and there he would sit going on and on. He lost all the customers and there he sat on and on. He had nothing. I'll say that for him not a man in London made a better boot. But yeah, according to him, no man in London could make better boot. But look at the competition. You can see the competition. He never advertised. Would have the best leather too and do it all himself. Well, there it is. He said he got the best leather, he got the best quality, but he never advertised and look what happened. But starvation, I said, starvation, seriously no food, that may be a bit of flowery, as the saying is, but I know myself he was sitting over his boots day and night to the very last, you see, I used to watch him. Now he tells that I saw him till the last night, last time before he died, he was sitting with his boots, okay, never gave himself time to eat, never had a penny in the house, he never had even a penny to have food, never gave himself time to eat, okay, all went in rent and leather, everything went in the rent and the leather. How he lived so long, I don't know. He regularly let his fire go out. He was a character, but he made good boots. Now he says, yes, he was a different type of character, but the thing is, he made really good boots. That young man was telling this to the author. And the author said, yes, I said, he made good boots. Now this was really nice story from Mr. John Galsworthy. I hope you liked the story, students. And before leaving, like the video, subscribe to our channel, push the notification bell icon. Okay? I promise you to meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.